Dan, how much did the game change for you guys in terms of what how good you were playing in the first half and the built-up pressure they brought in? I'm talking about Charlotte as soon as they came into the second half.
Yeah, obviously, I think as most games are, a tale of two halves. I think this one was pretty easy to tell. They made some adjustments, and we didn't necessarily have the best start to the second half, but I think there were some openings and some opportunities for us to, I think, do a little bit better a job of keeping our foothold in the flow of the game. I think we could have improved on that a little bit maybe, but other than that, it was a very stop-start second half for a lot of different reasons. But we knew they were gonna press, and it wasn't anything that we weren't really expecting, to be honest.
Jacob James.
Yeah, Dan. You have 3 assists now this season, and I don't know if you were credited with an assist on Hani's goal in the first half or not, but I guess what has enabled you to, I guess, be as productive as you've been, getting forward and contributing to the attack this season?
It's a good question. I mean, I think realistically, I'm being given a little bit more license to play a more balanced game as it pertains to the position and the role that I'm playing. Game plans change and styles of how teams play change. And so my focus has been being able to execute what's being asked of me at as high a level as possible and being able to improve that from week to week. So I certainly am comfortable getting involved in the attack. It's not like I'm trying to relearn a skill set, but I know that I can help the team and, more importantly, put some of our most dangerous attacking players in better spots consistently to score goals. So I'm thrilled anytime I'm able to do that, and the ball ends up in the back of the net, great. But just being up there and being able to help guys look good and feel confident is all part of what I'm trying to do. So it's been a good thing. We also have Andy on the other side. He's doing a fantastic job of making teams focus on him moving forward. So I think finding the balance between us and then on our sides respectively is adding a new dimension to our game as a collective. But, just putting my head down and trying to focus on getting better each week. And, statistics are great, but I think our process and the way that we're playing is pretty clear to see. And I think we take a lot of pride in that.
Ben, right?
Yeah, Dan, I wanted to ask about Walker. Obviously, his health is more important than anything else. But from your perspective, just what's the process like of seeing something like that happen on the field and then having to kind of immediately get back to playing?
That one is difficult only because of what happens afterwards. But quite frankly, I've played with Walker long enough to see him put his head in some crazy situations and to go in. And quite frankly, it's what makes him great and such a valuable part of our team and such a weapon offensively and then defensively. That's just a difficult situation. You have a guy trying to score a spectacular goal who has no malintent, has no idea Walker's going to stick his head in there. Is just trying to score a goal. And Walker's going to put his face in there to try to, save a goal, and he ultimately did. It's tough. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't something that was tough to watch and maybe impacted us a little bit. But, we pride ourselves in trying to move forward. And even when you have something like that breaks up the rhythm of the game to, I forget how many minutes it took to get play resumed. But it's difficult, not going to lie. Could we have done a better job at, focusing in on what we knew was going to be a remaining 10 minutes and then the added time, which was about 10 or 12 minutes, for sure. I think we could have done a better job regulating our emotions. But quite frankly, it was a unique situation, and I think something that no one ever wants to see happen. And, our thoughts, after the game, obviously we're upset that we lost, but, more importantly, making sure Walker's all right. But he's a tough guy. We're going to move forward, get him incorporated as quickly as possible when he feels good enough, safe enough. I'm looking forward to connecting with him, but know that he's in good hands right now.
Blair?
Yeah, Dan, second game in a row where you give up a late goal to lose the game. I guess what is happening there? Is there a connection between this and the Cincinnati game, I guess? And what can you do to prevent something like that happening?
No, I don't think a connection. To be honest, I think if you look back, you can look at the score sheet and the box score and see what minute the goals occurred. I don't think it's reflective of a major mindset that we're not getting right or something. I don't think there's a whole lot in other than analyzing each instance and knowing what we could have done better. I think moving forward, it's, something obviously as each game, win, lose, draw. I think it's important that we take a good hard look at ourselves and know we can improve moving forward, especially after what felt like a pretty dominant first half. And there's a lot to pick out of that, but as it pertains to the late goal, there's always something that goes wrong if you're getting a goal scored on you. So it's good to have those learning experiences, and it makes us better. But no, I don't feel like there's anything in there that's symptomatic or where the group is mentally or anything. I think it's just something we move forward with and, make sure it doesn't happen again.
We'll go to John Benham with the last question.
Yeah, and I just had one follow on the Walker Zimmerman situation. On the second goal that Charlotte scored, kind of a chip ball, it's behind the defenders and in front of the goalie. Is that a situation where potentially if Walker's there, communication in those kind of situations is key? Could that have made a difference there with obviously his experience and comfort level with everyone around there?
I understand what you're saying. I think realistically, Walker's an impactful player, and he plays a big part of how we defend many different phases of the game and many different important moments. But we have the luxury of training with this whole roster every day, and we've been through preseason. We know guys know their roles, and quite frankly, we have a lot of really good defenders on this team, and so we're super confident in what people are able to do in a given moment when they're called on. So having a little bit of a shakeup at that point in the game is certainly a change. We're aware of that, but it's business as usual on the objective changes and doesn't change, and how we move and how we coordinate and communicate, as you mentioned, stays consistent throughout the team. So it's unfortunate to give up a goal, because then you can try to attribute that to, Walker not being in there. He makes big plays. We have other guys that make big plays too, and I think that's something that we're not going to, dwell on too much.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.